My name is Jim Phillips, and I am an uncle to Bill, and that's how our family relationship is there. Bill's mother is my sister.
Were you drafted?
No, I was not drafted. I joined the service on my own accord, and the reason I did that, because they were drafting people then. There was a draft system, and I didn't want to go in the Army, so I joined the Air Force. I probably took her next question.
What branch of service did you serve?
Yeah, so I did join the Air Force, and the reason I did that, I thought I could get maybe some better schooling that could help me maybe later on. You don't know that at the time, but I did join the Air Force.
What was your rank?
My rank in the Air Force, when you're enlisted, when I got discharged, I was what they call an Airman Second Class, which is not very high up the ladder because they froze our ranks and that, and so we couldn't get any higher in the job that I was doing. We just met a certain level, and they say you froze your ranks, which means they froze your paycheck. You got a certain amount, and that was about it. Made about $100 a month.
How many years did you serve?
I served almost 4 years in the Air Force. When you joined the Air Force, you had to sign up for a 4-year tour. If you were drafted in the Army, you normally got by with a 2-year tour. But no, so I served almost 4 years, just short of 4 years.
Was your service during war or peacetime?
Well, technically it was right after the Korean War, but we were having trouble with Cuba. And so it was during when Cuba was a conflict down there. Things were a little bit tight with the Cuban people down there. So, but technically it was peacetime, actually.
Did you travel a lot?
No, I didn't travel a lot. For instance, I went to school for basic training in Texas. I took my training for what I was going to do in the Air Force in Mississippi. When I got done with that schooling, I went out to California. And because of what I flew, I did fly on an airplane for a bit. I got some pictures of it if you would like to see it. I don't have much being in, I was in a long time ago. But I do have some pictures that you kids could pass around a little bit. I got 3 of them. It shows the airplane that I did fly on. I didn't fly it, I flew on it. You got to remember that I was not a pilot or anything like that. What did you hand this to me? Make it look at it. And because that airplane in the Air Force are always building more up-to-date aircraft all the time, that they phased them out, they put them in a junk pile somewhere, somehow. There's still some around in the museum. And then I went to Kansas. And then while in Kansas, our whole squadron went to England for 3 months, and that's the only time I was out of the country in the service. I was over around about 50 miles out of London for about 3 months is all. All the rest of it was spent in the United States.
Yes, how many countries have you been to?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, I was just basically to the one other country, and that was England. We had to make stops on the way over because the planes couldn't make it all the way over there without landing for refueling. So we did stop in a little place called the Azores, which today I probably would have trouble picking it out somewhere. And but we were only there long enough to refuel the aircraft and then get back on them and head out to England again.
Do you still keep in touch with others that you served with?
No. No, I do not keep in touch with anyone that I've served with, mainly because you're serving with guys from all over the country, and you end up, my buddies, one was from Oklahoma. He was a full-blooded Indian that I hung around with a lot. And in fact, his last name was Big Horse. and he was a true full-blooded Indian, Cherokee Indian. And another fella I did chum around with a lot was actually from Holland, but they go their ways, we go ours, and so no, I have never kept contact with anyone that I served with at all, which in a way is sort of sad, but it's something that just happens. And of course, when I served, the whole service was different than it is now. It's so much of it is done. Like I have a cousin whose son-in-law was stationed in Las Vegas, and you guys know where Las Vegas is, right in Nevada. He was flying, controlling aircraft over in Afghanistan from Las Vegas. There's no people on those airplanes, they're called drones, but he was flying drones over Afghanistan from Las Vegas. And it's a whole different war than it is nowadays, than what it was. I mean, just branches of service are so different, so. I was in when it was not so sophisticated like it is now. So that's, and if anybody has any questions